The Day Before is an open-world MMO survival set in a deadly, post-pandemic America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. You wake up alone in a world you no longer remember, setting out to find answers and the resources to survive. Outriders is a third-person shooter mixed with elements from role-playing games. In the beginning of the game, players create their custom characters and choose from 4 classes. Each of them has unique abilities that the players can utilize. The 4 classes include Trickster, which has the ability to manipulate time, the Pyromancer, which can manipulate fire, the Devastator, which can unleash seismic attacks, and the Technomancer. These special skills have a short cooldown time and can be combined with other skills for maximum effects. The game features a skill tree that allows players to unlock and upgrade their skills. The original Chivalry, Medieval Warfare was a bit of a cult hit, but this sequel looks to have learned some lessons from more modern multiplayer Stabfest Mordau. It's got more flexible sword controls, and a greater number of ways to bludgeon a man as he screams at you in a muddy field. It's also got much bigger fights, doubling the player count to 64 players on a server, may be released on June 8. With Ghostwire Tokyo, Tango Gameworks is attempting to blend the old with the new. It wants to deliver a supernatural and eerie action-adventure, one set in the heart of a neon-tinted Tokyo. This is a huge departure from the style of games the studio built its reputation on, with Tango best known for ushering in a new breed of survival horror with The Evil Within and its 2017 sequel. Instead, Tango is attempting to bring traditional Japanese ghost stories to life with a modern twist, all as it works to immerse you in an atmospheric world that will take full advantage of the PS5. Developer Ninja Theory recently shared a brand new screenshot from Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, which hints at the sequel's cinematic lighting and graphical improvements. Ninja Theory first unveiled the next chapter in Senua's story during the Game Awards 2019. Minimal details have surfaced in the year and changed since then, but fans of the original adventure are no less enthusiastic about what's on the horizon. Everspace, the first one, fit the profile of a roguelike, a genre defined by its steep challenge and focus on repetition as you take on the same challenging gauntlet over and over again, discovering ways to make progress easier as you go. Everspace 2, on the other hand, is a full-blown role-playing game. There's a story driving you forward and a whole system of character progression built around letting you tailor your power climb in whichever way you prefer. An atmospheric first-person horror adventure Scorn is set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. It is designed around the idea of being thrown into the world. Isolated and lost inside this dream-like world, you will explore different interconnected regions in a nonlinear fashion. Xbox has announced that it will release survival horror game State of Decay 3 on the Xbox Series X and PC. A trailer for the game was streamed online, which also saw the announcements of a new Fable game, and gave viewers a look at the first gameplay footage of State of Decay 3. The State of Decay 3 trailer in particular won enthusiastic praise from many of those watching the live stream, with several people comparing its high-end graphics. Fans of the Stalker franchise from Ukrainian developer GSC Game World are eagerly awaiting the sequel Stalker 2, which was officially re-announced in 2018, with the first in-engine footage of the game being shown only a few months ago. However, there is one extra reason for fans of the series to be excited, as Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl will soon get an unofficial remake. The project uses Unreal Engine as well as Stalker 2, and the team has recently shown off some new visuals for players to check. Biomutant puts players in a post-apocalyptic setting dominated by mammalian-like creatures. The game is about Tree of Life as being corrupted by a toxic oil seeping up from the ground and affecting its 5 roots throughout the land. To add to the chaos of this natural disaster, the 6 tribes that made up an original enclave have split apart. Some tribes wish to save the Tree of Life, while others are focused on making their own way. Vampire: The Masquerade – Bloodlines 2, is set to release in the latter half of 2021. Bloodlines 2 is being developed by Hardsuit Labs, though its release date has been pushed back twice due to staffing issues, the COVID-19 pandemic, and a delay in receiving PlayStation and Xbox Series development kits. Despite the delays, hype is still strong among fans of the original game, with the hope being that Bloodlines 2 will be polished enough to live up to its predecessor. While speculation is high, one of the aspects of the game that is under particular scrutiny is character creation. Back 4 Blood is an upcoming multiplayer survival horror game developed by Turtle Rock Studios and published by Warner Bros. It is slated for release in June 22, 2021, for Windows, PlayStation, Xbox. The game has been considered to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, as it is being developed by the creators of the original game, and features largely identical gameplay. The game was announced at the Game Awards 2020. Deathloop is an upcoming action-adventure from Arcane Studios. The game is about, you're playing as assassin Colt, who is trapped on Blackreef, a mysterious island locked in a never-ending time loop. It's up to Colt to end the loop, all while being hunted by the island's less than hospitable inhabitants and a rival assassin called Juliana, who is determined to stop Colt and to keep the deadly time loop going. In order to stop the loop once and for all, Colt must take out 8 key targets on the island. Dying Light 2 is an upcoming survival horror action role-playing game developed and published by Techland. The game will be released for Windows, PlayStation, Xbox. Dying Light 2 is an open-world first-person zombie apocalyptic game. The game begins 15 years after Dying Light, starring a new protagonist named Aidan Caldwell, who is equipped with various parkour skills. Players can perform actions such as climbing ledges, sliding, leaping off from edges, and wall running to quickly navigate the city. Since announcing Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake in September, we saw an outpouring of feedback from you on this beloved franchise, Ubisoft said in a statement attributed to the development team. It is your passion and support that is driving our development teams to make the best game possible. With that said, we have made the decision to shift the release for Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake to a later date. This extra development time will enable our teams to deliver a remake that feels fresh while remaining faithful to the original.